From the Owl's Nest Barbecue Research and Development Center in Ottawa, Tennessee, it's time to light the grill, smoke the meat, and then repeat, because you are seeing and listening to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show with Steve Ray. The Owl's Nest Barbecue Show is brought to you by David Bosca and all the great products from Butcher Barbecue. Rubs, injections, sauce, and grilling oils. Now you can cook like a world champion with Butcher Barbecue products. And now the host of the show, Steve Ray.
Thank you, Em. And now you can go on to yoga. I know it kills you to do my intro. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. Steve Ray. And look who pops in the house. Neighbor Frank. My neighbor and barbecue compatriot, neighbor Frank, just comes roared into the house. How about that? I got me a neighbor Frank.
Knock on the door and let anybody in.
That's right.
That's what happens.
I think you just came on in. Hey, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. Eric Thomas from the Rolling Grill is going to be with us in just a few minutes here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. But first, I want to tell you, we're brought to you by Butcher Barbecue. That's right, all the great products from Butcher Barbecue. Rubs, injections, sauces, thermometers. David Bosca. Folks, Butcher Barbecue Products is the complete line of championship rubs and sausage, and he won the World Championship this year, the Jack Daniels World Championship, using only his rubs. They work. If you want to impress your neighbors, they work. Folks, it's Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Don't mess around with subpar barbecue. You've got friends coming over. Those chicken wings have got to be perfect. That pork butt has got to be right. That brisket, the brisket. Everybody's fretting over the brisket. You're trying to do the brisket. That brisket has got to be right. Come by the Midnight Oil in Ottawa. We've got the complete lineup of Butcher Barbecue products. Hey, we're also brought to you by Michelin Tires. That's right. Michelin Tires joining the lineup of sponsors here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. Folks, at the Midnight Oil in Ottawa, we've got them. All the Michelin tires, all sizes, everything that you need at the best prices in town, especially here in Ottawa. Now, this is what we do. We don't charge you extra. Have you ever looked at a ticket after you go get tires? It says tires rotate, or tires balancing, mounting, hazmat, environmental fee, this kind of fee, that kind of fee, state fee. You take $100 tire, and it ends up costing you $150. We don't do that. It's the cost of the tire plus sales tax, and that's it. At Steve Ray's Midnight Oil and Michelin Tire Direct, right here in Ottawa. That's what we do. Have you got a Facebook pulled up here, Frank?
I think so.
I think we should be live on that Facebook feed. You want to scroll down a little bit and try to find it there. We'll be calling Eric Thomas in just a little bit. Keep going down. No. Keep going down. We want to see the live feed. I hope it's a live feed. It should be a live feed. Keep going. I hope it's a live feed somewhere. There's got to be a live feed on there. Well, they're on there somewhere because I've got them on here. Frank Blair, you're gonna neighbor Frank. I'm gonna start calling you neighbor Frank. I love that.
Neighbor Frank.
That works. We're gonna find out. Hey, what we want you to do tonight, Roddy, Mark, Brian, John, and Greg, we're gonna have Eric Thomas on here in just a minute. We're gonna go to Skype and get Eric up here. And what I want you to do is I want you to ask Eric questions as we're talking with him. I want to make this interactive tonight, okay? So make sure if you got a question for Eric Thomas, and we're going to introduce him in just a few minutes, I want you to talk with Eric, ask him questions. He has got a wealth of knowledge, and we're going to go to him right now. We've been having all kinds of crazy difficulties today, but we're going to get through it. There he is right there. I know. Don't send me emails and tell me how bush league this is. I know all about it. And if he picks up, it'll be better. There we go.
This weekend.
What's up, Eric?
What's going on, Steve? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I cannot complain, man. I'm riding right now, fighting traffic, but I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Well, good deal. Make sure you keep us a good cell signal here, folks. Eric Thomas of the Rolling Grill, direct from Atlanta, with us tonight on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. And Eric, I'm just so happy you're with us tonight because we've got Super Bowl Sunday coming up, and Eric is a wealth of knowledge and a professional in every sense of the imagination. Eric, I'm going to start us out tonight by talking about this. Hang on just a second. Let me go down here and pull you back up here. We've got your picture on the big screen.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Oh, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now we got all of our Facebook friends watching, and we're going to break in a couple when they start asking you questions, Eric, because I told them I wanted to call and pick your brain, especially on munchies and snacks and everything here on Super Bowl Sunday. But first, let's everybody, anybody that's barbecued, that's a fan of barbecue, knows you from the Barbecue Pitmaster series. Let's back up a little bit. Let's go before that. What was the birth of the Rolling Grill and Eric Thomas in barbecue?
Oh, the birth of the Rolling Grill actually was 2005. Conceptually, it was 2004. I was still working corporate America, a telecom engineer. Mm-hmm. And then 2005 is when I went hot with it, rocking and rolling. We had a company went out of business, and I fell back on what I love to do, which is cooking. And barbecue just happened to be the thing that everybody requested and wanted, and I've been rocking and rolling with it ever since.
Eric, were you always one of those guys that when you were a younger fella, you always were around the pit, like with your parents or an uncle or something like that? Was there somebody special in your life that kind of guided you towards live fire cooking?
Well, you know what I mean. In our family reunions are huge. So in the family reunion, there's always a grill. So I can't name one person. My father and my mom are the reason why I cook. I will say that. Mm-hmm. But as far as getting on the grill, I mean, it's pretty much it's a numerous family members because, like I say, we had a tight-knit family, and a lot of our good times were spent around, barbecue or grilling.
Now, the first time I met you, you don't even remember this, I'm sure, was down in Atlanta, where actually it was Marietta. You remember that contest at Barbecue on the Square they used to do in Marietta? Yeah.
I remember that one. I know exactly which competition you're talking about. Yeah, I did it 1 year.
Yeah, I was set up right across the parking lot from you. And that was
Robbie Royal, I think, was at that event also. Rescue Smokers was there also, I believe.
Oh, it was huge. Myron was there, and all the big guys were there.
Yeah.
And that was our first professional contest. And I'll tell you a funny story about that too. But I sat up right across the driveway from you, and of course I'd seen you on television, and I was watching you, and I got to tell you, we're also joined here by my neighbor Frank Blair. Eric,
how you doing, Frank?
Good, Eric. How are you tonight, buddy?
No, I can't complain. I'm good. Doing good.
I was telling Frank before we went on the air how of all the setups, the sites, yours was neat as a pin, and I was so impressed with the way that you did your operation when you competed. Ours looked like a bomb had gone off out on it, and that was just Friday night trying to prep the chicken, and and then the next day after the brisket turned in, it was. I think we threw away the pop-up. It was so nasty. I just said, "To hell with it." I said, "To hell with it. Just throw it away. We could never get it clean." But I was so impressed with it. Is that something that comes from your? I think you served in the Army, didn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely served in the Army. Everything has to be dressed right, dressed in the military. But also, when you cater or cook professionally for other people, I mean, people eat with their eyes. So your whole station, whether you work in a restaurant, work in somebody's home, mm-hmm. It's got to be neat and clean. And so when you finish one thing, you wipe it up, put it away, and, keep it rocking and rolling. So, myself and my partner that was with me, Thomas, my other partner, Thomas, we pride ourselves on that, man. You got to keep your station clean. Ain't nothing worse than a disaster. You can't get your thoughts together, and you definitely can't get your food. Your food is going to taste just like what your area looked like, a mess. That's pretty much how it goes.
Well, that's how ours ended up too.
Eric, you hit on some of the most famous words ever spoken. You eat with your eyes first. And
Absolutely.
You're exactly right. If it doesn't look good, you're not going to eat it.
Absolutely. Won't even give it a thought. And it may be some good chow, but you know, if it don't present itself like as such, then you're definitely not going to eat it.
Yep.
You know, Eric, we turned in chicken that contest, and I had this idea that I love pomegranate, and I thought, you know, if I could incorporate pomegranate in my chicken, I believe I could just beat everybody. You know, and so we did the chicken, and my buddies were saying, Steve, I don't know about this pomegranate. I said, trust me, this stuff is going to score. If I like pomegranate, everybody loves pomegranate. So we turned in that chicken, and we got I think it was like last or next to last. And I got I got a comment card that said, chicken had strange taste, didn't taste like chicken. Now everything tastes just like chicken, except the Owl's Nest barbecue chicken that day. So we for what we did, we obviously ditched the pomegranate chicken. Frank, if you'll scroll down on that a little bit, we'll probably see the live feed. You can click on it right there. Eric, tell us about.
You might have had a bad judge that day, though. You might have had a bad judge. Pomegranate chicken may be something they're loving right now if you put a little sweetness to it.
Who knows? I'm not going back to pomegranate. I assure you that. hey, let's go over to it. I don't like to go back to too far, because Barbecue Pitmasters has been off the air for so long now. But tell us, we had my buddy Frank McGuire from up in New England is on Facebook, and he wanted to know about the Barbecue Pitmaster series, because they run that thing it just runs all the time on Destination America because it was so popular. How did you get hooked up with Barbecue Pitmasters?
The funny thing is, I had tried and submitted videos to get on that show probably at least 3 times prior to me even getting on it. A lot of people don't know that. Like, I have tried numerous times to get on there, and it just so happens the 4th try, they accepted my video. They called me, and everything took off from there. But I mean, they're literally going through hundreds, if not thousands, of different videos. And I think what guys have to realize is that everybody's cooking the same proteins, but you got to set yourself apart. You got to have something to talk about. You got to be able to relate and talk about food and be able to describe what you're cooking. And 2, you just really have to be yourself. And I finally learned that on the 4th try. Stop trying to be everybody else. Just do you. And that's what I did. I did it in my backyard on my Lane smoker, and just how we would do it if the fellas were over, and they liked it, and they called me, and the rest is history. We got on the show 2 years back to back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got on there 2 years, but then you hooked up on Barbecue Pit Wars, and to me I think that was the best series of them all. When you and
Barbecue Pit Wars was nice.
Yeah. And what was that? I'm drawing a blank. What was that fellow's name you cooked with? Guy from Texas?
Yeah, I was actually helping Ernest Cervantes out of Uvalde, Texas.
I can't believe I forgot Ernest's name. I met him down in Rome, Georgia one time. Really a great fella. And but they followed y'all around, I think, to 4 different events ending in Rome, Georgia a few years ago. And what was that like, going from place to place, cooking against Robbie and Myron and Michael Carrick?
You know what? I mean, Ernest did all of the cooking, but I will tell you this, man. It when you cook with guys on a consistent basis, you kind of become like a little family, and we all became kind of like a little close-knit family, man. So it was a competition, but I mean, it was kind of like a brotherhood as well. But I mean, it's good, man. I mean, you cooking against some of the best, and then don't forget the guys who weren't on the show. Like, there was a number of guys that weren't on the show that were, every time you went into a competition, you were cooking against some of the best cooks in the country. So it was a good time. It was 4 great events, and the production company really made everybody feel comfortable. And I would have to say, if I had my pick of the litter on which shows I would like to have back or be a part of, Barbecue Pit Wars would probably be number 1. Because it's all about the cook, and it's less about the you know, the three judges sitting on top of the throne.
Yeah, I don't.
You know.
We need to turn that sound up and get a chance for it. We're trying to get you up here on Facebook so we can read all the. We got just a ton of comments of coming in. What does Mike say there, Frank? He said, "Amen, brother. Got to keep it neat." That's right. There's a fella, Michael.
Got to keep it neat when you're catering. I'm a big barbecue caterer, but call myself a glorified dishwasher.
but you know what he's talking about, Eric, is you know, keeping your place neat and cooking good food in a neat application, and man, you do that. I mean, you did that just fantastic at that one contest. I got to meet you. Hey, let's roll on to I don't know how much competition and competing you're doing nowadays, but I know you've really got the catering thing going. And how's that working down? Because you're just an hour and 20 minutes from us down in Atlanta.
Yeah, actually, it's doing pretty good. Actually, we got some big time catering events going on this weekend. That's what we're headed to right now to get started on some prep work. Actually got 3 events going on this Super Bowl weekend. It's a big weekend in the city of Atlanta. And
I can imagine.
I mean, it's been going pretty good so far. I'm actually kind of trying to venture away from it a little bit. One thing about catering, it's stressful. It's stressful and it requires a lot. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it on your own. You got to have a team. And I've done it for so long. I'm just ready to do some other things like products and other stuff like that. I'll still dibble and dab in it. I'll still do the personal chef stuff, but the catering has been a long run. And I'll tell anybody, if you're going to cook professionally, or if you're thinking about stopping barbecue competitions and just figuring out a way to make some money instead of spending it all on competition, catering is a good way to venture into it. Get your feet. You cooked all the best meats that everybody wants: brisket, chicken, ribs, and pork.
Oh, yeah.
So really doing it'll be nothing. You just got to realize portions and how much you need based off the amount of people you're serving. But I'm trying to venture away from it a little bit.
It's so hard. You've got to. I mean, it's as hard as running a restaurant. There, you got to be there. You got to prep it, serve it, cook it right, be there to serve it, and then clean it up. I mean, a couple-hour event turns it probably a 12 to 14-hour prep time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about days into actually doing it. Because everything that my whole premise when I started is my stuff was going to be on site. I'm bringing the party to you, so I'm bringing the rigs, I'm bringing everything. I'm bringing the catering, the smokers and everything. And we pull up and do everything. And when you do it that way, as opposed to going in somebody's conference hall or something like that with a prep kitchen, it's different.
Eric,
but it's fun though.
Yeah, when you cater, so you pull the smoker up there and you started hours and hours before the event actually happens, and you're cooking there on site.
Oh yeah, we were cooking on site. I mean, it had gotten to the point when we were rocking and rolling so good, we were actually doing pig roast on site.
Oh my God!
And what I had to do is I had to figure out a way to do a pig roast at half the time, and so I transitioned when I was doing catering. I transitioned over to the La Caja China, the roasting box.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would smoke it in my smoker for maybe about an hour, 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. Get the smoke flavor I'm looking for in the color, a little bit of color, and then I'd roast it off in my box. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting that nice roasty, crispy skin, and you're also getting that good smoke flavor from a smoker. And it worked out perfect, man. And pig roast was like one of our number one things. We were killing them at pig roast.
I've had a couple people ask me, Frank, to do a pig on. I've only done one pig in my life, and I just. There's no doubt I could do it, but golly, they don't realize, if the party starts at 7, you got to say, well, I'll be there at 4 a.m. Somebody gonna let me in the gate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then the cleanup is what people don't factor into it. It's the cleanup that gets you.
Oh yeah, well you're there all night. That's why I say it's like running a restaurant.
Hey, Eric, we got a question for you from Mike Masiglia. I hope I pronounced that properly, Mike. Do you change your flavor profile depending on the region where the contest is being held?
Okay, I can hardly hear him a little bit.
Do you change your flavor profile depending on region where the contest is being held?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. One thing I've learned from just eating barbecue in particular, I mean, everybody cooks the same protein, so there's really no reason to change it. I mean, the flavor profiles, I've never really gotten into the whole regions of barbecue, Texas, Memphis, all that. To me, good food is good food. Start with the basics, salt and pepper. Pick the wood that you like and cook it till it's done and to taste. And make sure whatever you're cooking, you always finish it off. You know, if you're cooking brisket, finish it off with some of that brisket jus you worked 12 hours to get. If you're cooking a pork butt, finish it off with some of that pork jus you waited 12 hours to get, you know. And that's always been my thing. I don't care too much about regionalities. I've had good barbecue in all different places. Matter of fact, one of the number one places, I put it out there right now, that I've had barbecue in recently is Rodney Scott's Barbecue in Charleston, South Carolina. And, I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, the guy's cooking whole hogs, and that's the premise of his barbecue, but it was some of the best eating I've ever had. Yeah. So, no, I'm not too much on the regions. Just find a good wood that you enjoy that's regional to you. Remember, salt and pepper is your friend. Always salt your meat first and then dust your meat with your rub, whatever rub that you choose to use. But always put salt on the meat first. Salt should always contact the meat.
That is such great advice for guys like us, Frank, and for backyard cooks. They always try to do too much, and they try to make it complicated. And what you said right there, salt, pepper is your friend. And, And finish it off because we've said this a million times. The first thing that the judge tastes or your customer tastes or your friends taste is the last thing that you put on that meat.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's what gives them the bang, and that's what gives the judges in barbecue contests the bang, and it's what gives your friends the bang.
It just pains me to see guys cook briskets for 12 hours, cook pork butts for 12 hours, and all of that juice, we call it au jus, all of the au jus you got in the pan, they just don't use it. Just strain the grease off, throw you a little pineapple juice or some apple cider vinegar or whatever you want in there, a little salt to season it back up, and run it right back over the meat. And that's going to intensify the flavor even more. Because now you're getting all the smoke and the drippings that you had in the pan. That's really all the flavor is.
And this is where, Frank, this is where I was going next with Eric, with some tips for the backyard. But I mean, Eric, you've already got it rolling. What about chicken? Now this Super Bowl Sunday coming up, I think there's, I read, I don't want to misquote, I want to say 3 billion chicken wings. I think it's 3 billion chicken wings will be sold and devoured Sunday. I mean, Sunday in the United States alone. Tell us about your chicken wing recipe, because Frank and I both love to do chicken wings. And if I'm going to hire Eric Thomas to do my catering, what's the secret recipe from Eric Thomas?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's so funny you mention that. Like when I was on Chopped in January. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I did on Chopped was smoked fried chicken, not smoked, grilled fried chicken. Well, what I do is I do smoked fried chicken wings. So we're going to get started tomorrow. We season the wings up, and we brine them for a day. It's a three-day process. We brine them for a day, take the brine off of them, season them up, put them in the smoker for about an hour, cool them down, ziplock them, Cairo vacuum food saver, however you want to do it. And then the day of, we fry them. Mm-hmm. Smoke fried wings are amazing. Yeah, you have rendered all the fat from the skin, so you're getting good crispy chicken wings, and the smoke flavor just accentuates the bite. And it's a good bite. You can lemon pepper it or however you want to do it. But if you've never had smoked fried wings, which is pretty much the craze now in most barbecue restaurants,
they're the best.
You're missing out. That's some good eating.
Yeah, we did a couple contests this last summer here in Chattanooga, and that's how we did ours. But man, I tell you what, you talk about work. Wow.
It is. And it's pretty much a 3-day process. I mean, you don't want to cook them. You don't want to smoke them and cook them the same day. You want to cool them down.
Yeah.
And then, let that smoke get up in there if you Cairo vac them or steal them or whatever. And then, fry them the next day. The smoke will be more intense and you'll get more flavor.
Eric, this is probably a great backyard question. John McGuire just asked, do you let the salt and pepper set for a while before you dust with your rub?
Absolutely. I let the salt pull out the moisture, and as soon as it starts to glaze, that's when I go on with my rub. And I let it tack on. It tacks on even faster that way. And then once it tacks on, I'm going right to the smoker with it.
Yeah, tip for, this is something that probably everybody in the world has done that's a big mistake. Don't go fire up your grill or your smoker and walk into your refrigerator and grab an 8-pound hunk of meat and go out there and throw it straight on the smoker or the grill. Season it first, salt and pepper, let it rest, get 20, 30 minutes, whatever, and then put it on the smoker or the grill. You agree, Steve?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I'm with you. I'm a room temperature guy too. Hey, Eric, on the chicken wings, let's go over that again, because there's a lot of people watching, and there'll be a lot of people watching this video in the next few days, anticipating Super Bowl Sunday. Now you're going to take it. Now you're going to brine those wings first, right?
Yeah, they're going to brine overnight.
And what are you brining them in?
I'm basically doing a salt and sugar brine. I mean, it's basic. It's my brine. When I'm brining, I'm basically just brining to keep the moisture in. But I will add some of my seasoning in it, and I'll put some, a lot of onion powder, a lot of garlic powder, and some Lawry's. But I mean, it's basic in nature, because basically I'm just using that just to make sure the wings stay juicy through the process.
Mm-hmm.
You can put anything in a brine, anything.
Yeah,
absolutely anything, as long as you like the taste of it.
Hey, Eric, here's your good one. Speaking of brines, so Mike Masiglia has a good one here. Have you ever brined chicken wings in pickle juice?
I haven't, but I've heard many times, and everybody has said that it has great flavor and that it gives it a good vinegar bite. I've never tried it. I've heard the same thing about brisket as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this pickle juice thing is becoming a phenomenon. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah.
I mean, everywhere you turn, it's the new. I've just started hearing about it. The first time I ever saw it was, on Barbecue Pitmaster. Stupp used it. He said, you always get that. He said, you always get that pickle with barbecue, that dill. So he was seasoning his stuff. I guess it was pickle juice or dill or something like that. That's the first time I'd ever heard of it.
That was going to be my question. Dill pickle juice or sweet pickle juice?
Oh, it's got to be dill.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Eric? Don't you think, Eric?
Yeah, I'm with you, Steve. I've always heard dill pickle juice.
Yeah, and people people drink that stuff straight up. Have you seen that? they say I don't know. How old are you, Eric? We were talking about that. How old are you?
I'm
42.
Okay, you're just a young guy.
We had you pegged for 35, Eric. You look like a youngster.
When you get up to Frankenmind's age,
I'm about 40.
you will wake up one night and you will think there's a ninja jabbing you in the back of your hamstring. It'll be knotted up so bad. The nighttime leg cramps. I don't want to turn this into a geriatric class, but they say that the dill pickle juice, if you drink that helps. I guess because it's got a lot of got a lot of magnesium in it or something, and they say it'll help alleviate those nighttime bed cramps. And I got a jar in the refrigerator right now that I'm going to use this weekend.
He's going to snake off a minute and take a snort out.
Yeah.
Actually, Eric.
No, I'm going to use them on my chicken wings. You know what I'm going to do with them, Eric? I'm going to spritz with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to pour it into a spritzer, and I like to spritz my wings while I'm smoking them, because I'm not going to fry. I usually fry, at the end like you do, but I'm not going to mess around with that, because it isn't a contest. You're just cooking for people, and they're going to be eating free chicken wings. They could.
Yeah, they're gonna be eating them because they're free. Absolutely.
Yeah, they can taste like rat. They're gonna say they taste good because they're free.
Hey, Eric, I think Mike was asking a loaded question, because we got two comments that pop up, and he says it does, and John McGuire, very nice flavor. So that may be something we need to give a shot to.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go and find me some pickle juice and try it out this weekend.
Well, I know
I can't see how it would hurt it.
No, I know a lot of people spritz their briskets with it.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard about the brisket
with pickle juice also.
Yep. Yeah, and John's from up in New England, and if he's doing it, everybody's doing it, because they don't know nothing about barbecue up in New England, do they? So John has had to have spread from Florida up north, down here in the deep south.
They know about football. I'm sure they may know a little bit about grilling and barbecuing and tailgating now. The football team can stay in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, are you doing any events associated with the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Eric?
actually tonight, I mean, not tonight, but Saturday, we're actually doing some food. We're going to start tomorrow, actually, for somebody that's actually doing something associated with the owners.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, at the convention center by the Dome.
Oh, that'll be neat.
So we got, oh, yeah. Yeah. It's tight-lipped, though. They're not letting everybody. You would think the president was going to be in there, how much security they're talking about. So,
well, you know,
other than that, we've got 2 other events associated with the Super Bowl, not associated with the actual game or at the Dome, but some people closely related to football.
Eric, what's it like in town now with the Super Bowl barreling down like a train? Is it have they changed they closed off streets down there? Is it?
Oh yeah.
You know, what's it like in a big time atmosphere like that? Because I think it was like last Super Bowl in Atlanta was what, 2001 or something like that, about 17 years ago or something.
Yeah, actually, I think Dallas was in the Super Bowl then, and yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, they're starting to close off. You really won't see the effects of it probably until tomorrow, because we had a fake ice storm yesterday. So
yeah, we did too.
Yeah, so everybody was pretty much at home, but everything is lit up down there. All the insignia and everything is on the billboards. But I think tomorrow is really when you're going to see an influx of traffic. It's probably going to be bananas tomorrow.
Yeah, have you been into the Mercedes-Benz Dome yet?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Tell me about
Beautiful
that. Tell me about that thing. That's got to be a work of art inside.
It is, and hopefully they get a chance to open the roof, because when we were in there that time, they played the Giants, and the roof was open, and man, it's just beautiful, man. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. The last one was nice, but this one is like on another level. There's no bad seat in the house. There's pretty much TVs all around the center of the roof. So I mean, you can't miss any angle of the game. It's not a bad seat in there though.
Unless you're an official on the field, right?
Absolutely.
Just ask the Saints. only guy in that stadium was him that missed that call. Hey, what now you said you're slowing down your catering business. At 42, you got, man, you're in
years ahead of you.
Yeah, you're in your prime. Let's tell us about the products you got going, because I know you've been working hard on that.
Oh yeah, right now I've got the one that came out actually in January, our grill party dust. Got another one that's getting ready to pop up. It's a grilling dust that's getting ready to pop up in March, and then we're gonna have one more. I think I'm gonna cap it at 3. I mean, I think after 3, you pretty much, kind of copying what you've already done out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 is probably a good number for me, and then I'm trying to team up with a buddy of mine, man, and just start doing some products, some different products that cater towards the backyard guys. I think a lot of this stuff out here now is so expensive and highly priced that a lot of the backyard guys that don't cook competitions aren't interested in it.
Right.
I
agree 100%.
So we're going to stick around with a few things.
I think the competition barbecue craze, I think it topped out with the since barbecue pitmasters is gone now, and it doesn't look like they're doing any other shows except that Alabama barbecue show. But Eric, the live fire cooking and outdoor cooking phenomenon, I don't think, and Frank, you joined in, I don't think we've seen the apex of it yet. Have you?
Not at all. I think that's the wave. In all honesty, I think that's the new wave. Barbecue had it for a minute. I think the whole atmosphere around grilling, live fire cooking is the new premise, because the backyard guys have been doing it for years, and to get a grill is so much less expensive than get a smoker nowadays. And you can find some good ones. You can use a good Weber and grill some good meat. So,
well, yeah, but people they don't. A lot of the younger people, they don't. And you're part of the generation that there was something about sitting around a smoker all night or all day talking with your buddies and cooking. That is kind of I would say romantic, for lack of a better word. But a lot of these guys now and girls, they got no interest in sitting around a smoker watching meat cook. They want to set that dial and forget it. Now, are you one of the guys that have gone over to pellet smokers?
No, actually, no, not at all. it's just never been, no disrespect to any guys that cook on pellets. It's just never been my thing. I've always been a stick burner, wood guy. Like even the pit I'm using now, an Assassin 72. I use the Lang and Pitmasters.
Yeah.
But now I have an Assassin 72 in the back of my trailer. But I'm front loading it with charcoal and wood. And it's just, to me, I just think I like the whole premise of creating a fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm one of the guys that doesn't mind sitting around a fire and cooking because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't think a pellet cooker would move me the same way. So no, I'm still one of those. And if you go to, I'll tell you this, if you go to Texas, those guys still pretty much enjoy the premise of a live fire, stick burner type of cook.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those, the competitions in Texas are not, the IBCA, that's not dying off at all. If anything, that's probably the wave because they're taking off.
Yeah, the IBCA is a cool tournament, and I think one of the reasons it is because they get their judges off the street. Every time you go to cook, it's you don't know, you never know who. You and I could, me, you, and Frank could walk into a contest and say, "Hey, we want to judge barbecue."
Sure, why not?
And you know what? I honestly don't mind that. I actually like that because when you cook for a living, that's how it is. People come off the street and taste your food, and they judge it based off no premise of being trained. I'm not against trained. I'm actually a KCBS certified judge, but I just think that when it comes to good food and cooking, I mean, anybody should be able to tell you whether or not your stuff is garbage or whether or not it's great. It's great, and you shouldn't have to go to a class to get that. You should have to be certified to eat food.
Hey, you know what I bought a couple of, I guess it's been probably 2 years ago. I bought your book, How to Operate a Food Truck.
Oh, wow.
I did. And me and some other guy bought it. And I know it wasn't a big page turner, but Eric, I'm going to tell you something. That if I was the person thinking about getting a food truck or a restaurant or a trailer or even catering, you had some great ideas and some you really dealt with the important things of going into business in that book. Expand on that a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean the front line stuff, the basics of just getting started. I mean, it's like a lot of things that people think when you're cooking for other people, and even people that hire you to cook for them, they just think it's cooking food and showing up.
Yeah,
it's not. It's a lot that goes into it. You've got to have your everything's got to be right. You got to understand portions. You got to understand, how to feed crowds. You got to understand how to charge and different ways to charge. You got to understand how to pick out vendors and what prices you should really be paying for certain products. There's just like a lot of different things that I tried to touch on in that book. Because that book came about, I had a publisher contact me. I had a book that I had self-published. And my book pretty much was about what I learned in doing barbecue and grilling, catering, basically. It was all about catering and the do's and don'ts and what I've learned over the years.
Yeah.
And, the food truck craze was going on then. It was way before I had my trailer that I have now.
Yeah.
And so, she saw the manuscript, the proposal, and she just thought it'd be a good blend to mix the catering with the food truck. 'Cause, I mean, it's pretty much hand in hand. And a lot of guys just don't understand. It's much more than just cooking, and then you got to understand how to charge what it's worth and be okay with that. So,
well, a lot of people don't realize what the licensing process is even. Do we have to get a license to do this? No, they just let you out on the street. It doesn't
Absolutely.
work that way. The bureaucratic red tape is incredible. I know it's incredible here in Chattanooga, and they're trying to make it easier, and it's still a nightmare trying to get a license to cook in a food truck. And Eric, what kills me on these food trucks, and we Frank and I go to we travel in the same circles, and a lot of times we go to these places together. You go to the food truck, and it's like the people that own them are in slow motion. Have you noticed that?
Yep.
Oh my God. It's like, they get a line, we were at this one place down here in Chattanooga, and this guy was cooking, I want to say Peruvian food. He had this huge wok set up. Eric, this thing was 5 feet in diameter, and he had a gas thing under it, and he threw a bunch of stuff in it, like stir fry. And he was mixing it up, and he put the tortillas on the side to warm them up. And it was really, really cool. And it was he and his wife and his little daughter. And I looked down, and he had a line of like 55 people were lined up to get this stuff. And I said, and I'm standing there, I'm saying, hey, you know, he wasn't moving fast enough for me, and I was just watching. And I said, hey, pal. I said, you know, you got about 55 people in line. And he goes, yeah, they do that every Sunday. And
Wow.
I said, do you need help? I said, I was gonna run back there and said, you know, do you need help feeding these people? Because you're driving me crazy. But
don't understand his procedures. He don't have any procedures in place to run the line faster. I mean,
but can you imagine having a fan base like that, and not? I know the few times that we've sold barbecue at my gas station during special events, I go crazy if more than 4 or 5 people get in line. I go nuts, you know, because I want to help them and, you know, get them there, because nobody likes standing in line. And
no.
And, you know, to address that for some people that may be watching, that may be interested in opening a restaurant or a food truck, how important it is and how you go about it to serving the right amount of people.
Well, the good thing about barbecue, say if barbecue is going to be your niche, you want to do barbecue in a food truck. The great thing about it is a lot of the items that you're going to be serving, like pulled pork, you know, I'm not a big fan of sliced brisket on a food truck. I'm more of a fan of chopped pork, chopped beef, maybe shoulder clod or something like that, because you can hold it better. And you can pre-chop it, hold it on the line, put the juices back over it, and keep it in a warmer. And so when the people are coming up, you're just rocking and rolling. But I'll tell anybody, whenever you're doing food truck stuff, you got to have a long cook item and a short cook item. So if you're going to do stuff like pulled pork and chopped beef and all that stuff, it should be done when they show up. But if it's not, you got to have quick cook items like sausages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be something that they can get before they leave there, so that they don't leave without something. You don't miss out on the money. So,
hey, Eric,
always have a quick cook and always have a long cook item.
Can you give too much of a choice in a food truck? Can you make it so complicated? Because I remember one year we did a festival here in Chattanooga, and the first year we did potato salad, and in the second year I said, well, let's do pork and beans and potato salad and give them a choice. That was the dumbest decision I ever made, because you'd have people walk up there and they can't decide between beans and potato salad. I mean, it just drove me crazy. Can you get too much?
Have you looked at the menu at Taco Bell lately? Go there and try to look at the menu at Taco Bell and find something.
Hey, you can have too much. Now, I tell you, in a food truck, I tell anybody, 5 items or less and keep it simple. 1 protein and maybe 1 side, because if you're doing more than 1 side and you're really selling plates.
Yeah.
But I try to keep it simple. I mean, it's a food truck, for God's sake. It's handheld food.
I like that. That's good advice. 5 items and a drink, and make it good. That's what I think. You know, there's this one guy here in town, Chickanooga. Wherever this guy goes, he draws a crowd, Eric. He has got really good chicken products, and he's got great beer battered French fries, and but wherever he goes, but he keeps it simple. You know, he serves people fast and quick. He gets them in and he gets them out.
That's it.
And that's to me, that's good advice. You can go to Amazon, Eric. I think your book is still available on Amazon, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's still available on Amazon. It's still available through the publisher. If you go to my website, therollingrill.com, I mean, the link to the publisher's on there. Yeah, it's still available. We're actually supposed to do a volume 2 of it, but they're still trying to figure it out, because the food truck craze hasn't died down. It's, if anything, it's pretty much exploded in certain places, especially like in the Northwest, Portland, Seattle. You know, even like Miami, Orlando, it's gone crazy. So it may be a volume 2, but my next book is probably going to be a cookbook. That's really where
so
I find more interest in helping people and teaching people than I do anything.
Yeah,
so that's probably going to be my next week.
So what is the food truck scene like down in Atlanta? Is there a Do they make it easy for these guys to operate, or is it tough?
It's tough, and it used to be tougher.
Yeah.
What has happened now is a lot of people are just teaming up with breweries, with this breweries down here. Like, you know, craft beer in Atlanta is super popular.
Yeah, it is here too.
And you have so many microbreweries now. So those guys, barbecue and beer go hand in hand. So that's pretty much what's been happening. Because last Super Bowl, that's what I did. I actually had a party. We cooked the food for a brewery, Eventide Brewery out here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was pretty nice, man. Because, you know, beer and barbecue, like I said, it's hand in hand. So that's pretty much what a lot of people are doing. There's still some people that set up in certain areas, but I don't know. I don't see the craze like in a few years back.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's so many restaurants now. I know there are in Atlanta. There are here in Chattanooga as well. It's just, you know, the food scene is just, that's all we do. It's all we do now as a society is our hobbies are going out to eat.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's you're absolutely right.
All right. 42-year-old Eric Thomas. He was a competitor like crazy, a bona fide, Frank,
Very good.
a bona fide TV star.
Entertainer.
Eric, entertainer.
yes.
Yeah. Entertainer.
He did a great job.
And he probably would have been he probably would have beat David Bosca that one time had he not left that bone in his hands.
Man, that's my buddy though. I love David. David, that's my buddy, man.
Yeah, David does a good job. And so what's next? Are you gonna? You said you want to do a cookbook and you want to develop another rub or a sauce or what?
Yeah, I got another rub coming in March. It's gonna be more like a grilling dust. It's really good actually. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to still do a few competitions because I'm actually headed to Texas for the Turn and Burn in Pleasanton, Texas in March, in a few weeks actually, for that competition.
Yeah.
My sponsor, Western, is headquartered down there, so we do that one every year. But I've got a few wine and food festivals that I'm going to be a part of. But I mean, I still pretty much love to compete. I just want to find some competitions that care more about the cookers and less about, you know, padding their pockets, so to speak, you know.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Hey,
Yeah.
you mentioned something right there about wine and barbecue. Have you noticed? I noticed here in Chattanooga, we've got an increase. I'm gonna call them, I guess, highbrow events, sort of like that Tennessee whiskey event we did this summer. Yeah, some highbrow events that feature barbecue and
$90 a ticket.
Yeah, they're $90 a ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get into this thing. I think those are something that there's a growth area in barbecue for some, higher end stuff.
Very much so. The one that I'm doing is at Lake County. It's at the Ritz-Carlton. And I'm a part. It's a 3-day wine festival. I'm a part of the Brewing Queue that Saturday. But, I mean, it's pretty much a high-dollar event. And, I mean, one thing about barbecue and grilling, I don't care how much money you make. I don't care about none of that. Everybody eats barbecue with their hands, and everybody enjoys sitting around talking about barbecue and drinking beer or drinking wine.
Yeah.
And so they kind of go hand in hand. And it's been sold out for the past 4 years, you know. So I'm with you on that. It may be a new wave. I know beer is really taking off of barbecue, but wine is certainly very popular now as well when it comes to grilling.
I think, but you hit the nail on the head. Everybody, if I go to a fancy place, I don't know which fork to use. I'll pick up that little short one and I'll dab a steak.
The one
with
they
it.
hand you.
Yeah, it depends on how hungry I am. But
absolutely.
But by golly, at a barbecue, I know how to get the tongs in the buffet and slap that meat on a bun and pick it up and eat it. And I've done it, sitting next to poor people, sitting next to rich people, and they all eat it the same. You're right.
That's it. I mean, it's no different. Everybody enjoys talking about it. Everybody wants to hear about how you cooked it.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to share a beverage with you. So it goes hand in hand.
Eric, when you walk into a place or when you're doing one of your like celebrity cooks or something like that, do you find up that people, there's always a guy that's got a green egg on his back porch or a Smoky Mountain, and he'll come up to you and he'll start telling you how he does his stuff like he's wanting affirmation. And all of a sudden but you know what? That it's like the greatest icebreaker in the world. about how you do your barbecue. Let me tell you how I do mine. Is that right? And how do you do yours? And I love it. I love it when people come in the gas station and want to talk like that.
You get a lot of them too, and like you say, the majority of them. You're right. They have the green egg of the Traeger.
Yeah.
They have the high dollar stuff, and they're coming in to talk barbecue and give you their recipes and things like that. But I mean, hey, I love it, man. I can talk about barbecue all day long.
Oh yeah, they want to tell you about the smoker and how many times they've used it, and want to tell you a story about when they forgot to burp it and it blew up in their face, and all kinds of stuff like that. I've heard them all. But it's just such a wonderful thing that we do. And I tell you, guys like, Eric, Frank, guys like Eric make it so much more fun because they bring you bring such a personality to cooking, Eric, and your website's fantastic. Your Facebook page is always, if you just get all that Georgia crap off of it, it would be great.
We need to bring him up here and turn him orange. Hey, Eric, somebody wants to get hold of you. How do they do so? Is it Roland, ROLLING, RolandGrill.com?
Yeah, just add the THE in the front, the RolandGrill.com.
The Roland Grill. We've already got a question. One gentleman wants to get in touch with you. The RolandGrill.com, right?
The RolandGrill.com, and you can hit the contact us page. It'll come. I'll get a copy of it. Yeah, absolutely. Or just barbecue@therolandgrill.com is the email address.
Hey, Eric, what's the most common question you get asked by people that want to learn more about barbecue, or like on your Facebook page and your web page?
If it's number one and two, number one is definitely smokers. I don't know how many questions lately I've had about smokers, stick burners versus just a regular grill or a pellet cooker, and then lump versus briquettes. That's a big one because I just think guys are really intimidated by lump.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. It's the same premise, just more flavor, in my opinion.
Now, see, I'm the opposite. I wouldn't be intimidated because I don't use it. Because I got tired.
Oh man!
I got tired of picking. I got tired of picking computer cords out of it and nails and.
See, I'm just
golly.
I'm just the opposite. I won't use.
I guarantee you could not take anybody's lump charcoal and walk through try to get on a plane with it. There'll be a nail or something. I don't know where they get that wood at, but
I've heard some stories about some particular brands. I won't mention them. But I agree with you on that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'll say this. If you go and you see a deal on B&B charcoal, or Kingsford, you buy it all because it's all going to be the same. If you see a cheap bag of lump charcoal, be wary.
For $8.95.
Yeah, you know it. You better be buying that good stuff because it's you can really. That's another discussion for another day.
It is. I will say this though. Weston is one of my sponsors. Weston and Cowboy Charcoal and Western are one now.
Yep.
I will say this: if you haven't tried the Cowboy Charcoal Western briquettes or the 20-pound lump bag, it's actually some good stuff. It's actually pretty nice. I can actually say without a shadow of a doubt, you won't find any. Well, you shouldn't now find any cords of anything of any unnatural stuff in the bag. Man.
Cowboy Charcoal,
any problems
that's
whatsoever.
a top
lately.
brand. I just kidding you. I use lump charcoal in my gravity feed, my big one. And you're right. It's a anytime I can pick up Cowboy Charcoal, I do it. It's a great product.
Yeah, one of the main production plants is actually in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, so where you're heading to? You've got an event for the Super Bowl. Now, what will we be doing Sunday? Are you going to be working, or are you going to get to watch the game?
Sunday, I have I'm doing a barbecue brunch, a Super Bowl brunch on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday evening, I'm just going to sit back and watch the game. By that time, I'll be worn out. So
I bet. You sit there on the couch and count your money, I hope. And then when you heading down to Texas?
Actually leaving for Texas. The event is the March 8th.
Oh, okay. So it's
the 9th weekend. Yeah, we're probably going to leave out like that Wednesday.
Well, why don't you slide over to Lawrenceville the beginning of March and do the contest there at the Braves, the Brave Stadium, that little over in Gwinnett County. Not the Brave Stadium, but their farm team. You know what I'm
Somebody
talking about?
told me about that one. Yeah. Is it on the square or is it?
No, it's at a baseball stadium. I've done it. I did it last year and the year before. It's at the Gwinnett County baseball field. I forget it's the Braves farm team.
Mm-hmm.
It's there in Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's a great contest.
Hey, Steve, let's slide a
KCBS?
couple.
Yeah, KCBS. Yeah.
Can we slide a couple more questions in?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we got time.
Hey, so Michael Massiglia wants to know, you remember the MBBQA, first of all?
Yes.
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 Okay. And second question is, who you putting your money on for the Super Bowl?
Oh, now you guys gonna hate me for this one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. You know, I'm a Georgia fan, a Georgia Bulldogs fan.
Yep.
And we just happen to have both of the starting running backs in the Super Bowl this year. So
Yep.
I can't go for Tom Brady because I'm just not a Patriots fan. So I'm gonna have to go with Todd Gurley and the LA Rams and Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with the Rams on this one.
You know who came in my gas station today? The guy that went to Tennessee. He plays for the Raiders. He's I think he's a tight end, big guy, 6'5". His last name is Lee, Lee. He went to Tennessee and then ended up at Marshall, I think, and plays for the Raiders now. He came in. He is a huge human being.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, you should have seen him.
Eric, you're about as old as Tom Brady, right?
He's just a.
Say again?
I said you're just about as old as Tom Brady.
Oh man. Yeah, you're about right.
You're only a year older than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom Brady still got it. You can't take nothing away from that guy.
No,
I mean, you can't take a thing away from him, man.
No, he's a good player. Hey, Eric, thank you so much for joining us. We sure do appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. And anytime you need me, I'm just a phone call away.
I will. And if you ever get up here to Ottawa, make sure you stop by the Midnight Oil Service Station right up here off of I-75. Would love to see you and hook up again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Eric. Good luck
Appreciate
to
it,
you.
man.
Thank you.
You bet. What a great guy.
Yeah, he is super.
Great guy. He's a genuine person. What you saw on television on the reruns of Barbecue Pitmasters, he's the same way, and we can't thank him enough for being on the show. Hey, don't forget, Frank, I want to tell everybody, starting on February the 13th, we're going to originate the broadcast on my on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page, and we're going to figure out
how to do it.
Do it. Well, we had a little technical problem.
Sorry, folks.
But that's all right. We're going to figure out how to broadcast to YouTube as well. Please go to my YouTube channel, Owl's Nest Barbecue, and subscribe. I've got all the back interviews that we've done. Eric will be up there. He'll be up there later tonight. And you can catch him there. Go to our Facebook page, Owl's Nest Barbecue. We put some good pictures up there. Also, follow me, Ottawa Owl's Nest Barbecue on Instagram. Go there. And we're going to have a big announcement in the upcoming weeks. We're going to have I'm working on a big guest, Frank, for that.
How big?
Real big.
Like a really big.
A really big guy.
Really big.
And a really big guest for the February the 13th kickoff on the Owl's Nest Barbecue page. But now we got to run. Everybody, thanks for watching. And we sure do appreciate everybody listening to us. And we are going to head out of here in just a second. I'm sorry, this has been such a technical
faux
pas, but by golly, we got it done. And anytime you can get Eric Thomas online with you in the real thing, you've done well. Until next Wednesday, everybody, this is Steve Ray for Frank Blair. You've been listening to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Contest. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 7 right here on Facebook Live.
That's a wrap.